Other costs to consider in your property development. I'm Nicholas Wallwork, CEO of Redbrick and PropertyForum.com. I'm joined today by John Howard. Thank you for joining me, John.
Thank you, Nicholas.
Fellow developer in the industry.
Absolutely.
Really ambitious chap, and we've done a few deals in our time together.
We have. I mean, I've 40 years of development experience. I know you're much younger than me, but you've already done 20.
60 years combined. It's not bad, is it?
60 years combined. It's not bad.
Crikey, we should retire soon, I think. And
I think a few people have said I should. Yeah.
Yeah, no, not me,
Oh,
ever.
thank you.
So as we walk around, this is one of my client sites down in Hampshire that I'm showing you around. And there's obviously lots of things to consider when doing a development. It's not all about the construction costs. I think a lot of people think it's all about the build costs, how much the walls put up, how much the carpenters, the M&E, mechanical, electrical. It's not just about the construction cost. There's also a big layer of consultancy fees and periphery fees, and that's quite painful, isn't it? Because it doesn't appear to be directly contributing the building of the site. No. So, those fees can be anything from 10 to 15% for larger sites. Yep. And the larger the site, the more kind of detailed that consultancy has to be, how much more preliminary work has to be done to de-risk it. I mean, what do you kind of look for when you're working with your joint venture investors?
Okay, so with my joint venture fund, where we're investing, slightly different for us because we're investing in other people's deals. Yeah. So apart from doing my own deals, obviously, we have the joint venture fund where we invest in not just first-time developers deals, but mainly first-time developers deals, and we put in the deposit that they haven't got. Yep. And we share the profit with them 50-50. So when I'm looking at the development appraisal, the one thing I look at quickly, apart from the profit, of course,
straight to the profit,
quite handy, is a contingency sum.
Yep. Okay.
What happens if it goes wrong? How much have they allowed? Have they allowed anything for the build cost to go overrun? Now,
what do you look for personally in your deals?
Well, in my 40 years, have I ever got the price and the time of the development correct? Not often.
Well,
I have to admit.
Time's a really good point. It's not just about the cost, because if you take 6 months longer,
absolutely, time costs money. So you want to make sure two things really with contingency. One, that you've got enough time in the development. Yep. And I had someone the other day who said, I'm just going to refurbish these flats, I'm going to sell them all within 4 months. I was like, good luck with that, individually, not to one person. Yep. It's going to take a year to sell them. Yeah. So always allow a year to sell whatever you've got. Because remember, the profit is in the last few you sell, not the first few.
Well, the first few pay the bank off.
Hopefully.
And you get the last few.
Exactly. Really. So it's important that you finish these developments and get them sold. So contingency in terms of build costs is really important as well. So if it's new build, I want to see really at least 5% contingency. So if it goes wrong and the costs go up, how much have we allowed within the deal for extra costs? And 5% on a new build should be enough, Nicholas. I don't know what you think, but it's
new builds should be much easier. Once you're out of the ground, certainly much simpler.
The risk is always in the ground. Once you're out the ground, you know what you're doing, not a problem.
Contamination, services, drainage.
But if you do the right tests on the ground before you start, you should know. And if you haven't done, you're stupid.
Well, that leads me nicely into the consultancy fees, that 10 to 15% of planned costs.
Yes.
Over and above. So if you've got £1 million construction costs, you can budget anything from 100 to 150,000 on those consultants.
Absolutely.
Right?
I want to see those costs in there. Now, I don't want to see too many costs in there, because if I think there's too many costs in there, I'm going to cut them down.
Absolutely.
Because I don't believe in giving consultants more than they deserve. I believe in giving them what they deserve.
Yeah.
So if they use,
we don't want them over engineering things,
and it
just to justify a fee.
Absolutely, and it depends on the size of the job as well. If it's a small job, you probably don't have any things. The other thing is conversion. So if you're converting a building, you can't see everything. With a new build, you can see everything.
Correct.
With a conversion, you don't know what's behind that wall, you don't know what's behind that fireplace.
Well, if we look around right now, we've pulled. This has all been pulled out, so we didn't know what the makeup of this wall was, how much insulation's in it, how much fire protection's in it.
I've got a little bit of a trick there on smaller conversions. Okay. And that is, break the contract down into 2 parts. One, strip it out first. Yeah. So get a builder to come in and strip it out. So like a letter of intent, do the strip out. Strip out, see what you've got, and then the price you get should be fixed. How can a builder fix a price if he doesn't know if he's doing it blind? He can't.
Absolutely.
So spend a few quid. It's got to be stripped out anyway.
Yeah.
So you're not wasting money.
No.
And then they can see what they've got, and then they can give you what's got a fixed
price, JCT contract.
Otherwise, JCT contract, small works contract, fixed price. If you don't do that, you're leaving yourself so open because they say, I don't know what that is, don't know what that is, don't know what that is. So, here's the price,
Here's
budget
fudge
price,
factor sum.
fudge practice sum. We don't want any fudges.
Yeah.
So on conversions, I like to see a 10% contingency sum.
Yeah,
10% because of anything we don't want to see the roof perhaps, even when you've stripped out, you still sometimes don't know what's there. So, hopefully you do, but I would always leave 10% on a conversion. 5% should be enough on the bill.
Well, it's a great tip actually, that is getting the strip out done early doors. And actually on this particular site,
before you award the contract.
Before you give the contract, we actually use the same contractor for both.
Yeah,
but you give them a letter of intent to do the strip out.
Absolutely.
They then do the strip out. You can do more intrusive surveys. We've dug big holes in the slab to see the makeup of that. And then you can award the contract once you know what you're up against.
It's all about de-risking.
Yes.
And the reason someone would use you, Nicholas, to oversee a project for them and joint venture with them is because it de-risks it, because you know what you're talking about. It's like a joint venture partner coming to me saying, John, would you invest in our deal? And me saying, yes, I will. And then me overseeing the project with them. I'm de-risking it. I'm taking the risk away from them because we know what we're talking about.
Definitely. Years of experience of making mistakes in the early days, for sure,
We've
right? We've learned the hard way.
You show me a developer that hasn't made a mistake, I'll show you a line.
Yeah.
Simple.
And actually every development always has its issues. No development I've ever been involved in goes 100% smoothly. There's either an issue with the services, the utilities you can't control, and often now, with the level of experience we've both gained, it comes down to things that are now uncontrollable, which could be the market, could be the funding market, could be the utilities companies. It could be the availability of doing a survey to see if there's contamination or the makeup of this slab. Like we couldn't have cut a 2 metre by 2 metre hole in this slab before we bought it.
No, so who's going to let you do that?
No one's going to let you do it. So there's an element of risk there that if there is a problem with the slab, you've got to overcome that.
Ultimately, Nicholas, there's no perfect deal and there's no perfect husband.
No. Oh, wow, okay. Thank you for that insight.
I know you were thinking you might have been the perfect husband, but I'm sure your wife's got a few things that aren't ticked on her list.
I'm sure you're right. Well, on that bombshell, I'll ask my wife tonight what she thinks. I'll get her to send you a message and we'll find that one out. Thanks for watching this video. Hopefully it's been useful. Some tips and tricks on contingency, build costs and the periphery costs you should be aware of, not just the construction cost. If you'd like to see more educational content, please do subscribe, hit the bell icon to be notified of new videos, and check out my good friend and colleague John Howard, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on a video very soon. Take care.